All right. Hello, everybody. This is Tom Randall from GoldenCare. Thank you so much for jumping on this webinar today. I am super excited to finally be able to announce the official release nationwide of our OmniFlex product, our short-term care product, and I'm excited to show you guys today just a little bit of the nuts and bolts of this product and hopefully give you a little bit of an idea of just how strong it can be and how it's going to turn heads out there for hopefully the agent base, you guys who are so important on this call and elsewhere, and more importantly for all the Americans who need this out there. So with that said, I'm just going to do a little introduction, and you guys have seen this. Some of you were on Jeff's webinar the other day and some of my earlier webinars. You know, the end of the day is, if you know me at all, I'm passionate about this industry. I know I really have long-term care and short-term care in my veins. I've been doing this in way too many years here at GoldenCare. I think I'm in my 27th year now with GoldenCare, and I've really learned to know the importance of long-term care and short-term care and what a huge need it is. If you look at these stats, these don't lie. 70% of the people out there, every single study shows, will need at least some form of help at some point in their lives once they're age 65 and older. And unfortunately for us, 90% of adults have never really had a serious conversation about it. This isn't something you can jump on the internet and kind of educate yourself. It's something we need people like you. We need people like on this call to be able to go out and help people understand their options and how to protect themselves and their families. We've beaten this COVID stat to death, but the COVID situation really put a big emphasis on the idea of preparing ahead of time. 61% of the people in a big nationwide study said they'd rather die than try to go to a nursing home because they saw what was happening during the COVID part. So that being said, I want to make sure, and I paused this little video here, I want to make sure you understand a few things as a disclaimer, if you will. We know there's a lot of different people on this call even, but there's a lot of people with different levels of knowledge about short-term care and long-term care. So the biggest thing I want to come across today is to make sure you guys understand the important part of it is to realize, number one, this is way easier than you think it is, especially short-term care compared to long-term care. And we've got a lot of different things I'm going to show you today on this call that'll support you along your way. So don't get freaked out and think this is over my pay grade. I shouldn't be doing this, because at the end of the day, I'm going to give you an introduction today. Some of you, it'll be drinking out of a fire hose. Some of you, it'll be a review. But I want to make sure, we have a limited time here, and I want to make sure we get a lot of points, and mainly just to show you the next steps, okay? So that being said, I usually start out all these OmniFlex. We've had a pre-launch that went great, and we start out usually with this quick little 3-minute video that I talk over, and it's going to show you a bird's eye view of the product and a method of our madness and why this product took literally just 3 years we're coming up on, because we didn't want to come out with just a vanilla product. We wanted something different. We wanted something that would turn heads, and more importantly, we wanted something that would help a much, much bigger base of Americans who are going to need our help in the years to come. So that being said, I'm going to see if I can get this going again without logging out of it. Okay, so when we started, everything comes down to underwriting. That's the main thing you'll see when it comes to short-term care. It's the main reason short-term care is going to take off in this country. Long-term care is tough to get. So we wanted to have a simple 2-tiered underwriting approach that I'll tell you more about. We didn't want premiums to go up every so often and have them go up and every age band of 3 years or 5 years. These are level premiums based on your time with the application. And we know there's a lot of married folks out there, so we wanted to have spousal discounts. Plus, we have a really exciting built-in RX benefit you can use from day one that I'll tell you more about that'll really keep those net premiums low. And secondly, since this is a comprehensive short-term care plan, we wanted to make sure we had facility coverage there. People don't want to go, but they do need the coverage if they need it. So we wanted to make sure all the usual suspects are there: nursing home, assisted living. We even put hospice facility on there that a lot of the other short-term care products didn't have. Plus, because there's so many Medicare Advantage plans out in the industry, we have a rider for a hospital indemnity plan as well that'll save some of those out-of-pocket expenses I'll tell you about. And finally, more important probably than a facility even, is we wanted to make sure people could stay at home. People buy these policies to stay out of that nursing home or out of that assisted living as long as possible. And we built a really nice plan here with all the usual things for the medical home care side of it. This obviously is not an exhaustive list, and we did include hospice care in there, but we wanted to make sure people were covered on a very broad spectrum for anything they may need for medical home care. Just as important as the medical home care, which a lot of you on this call know, is the custodial home care, right? We want people to stay at home with dignity and comfortably as long as possible. So these policies are indemnity plan. Remember, OmniFlex is indemnity plan, and it has full benefits for the home health care aides, full benefits for homemaker, and custodial and full benefit periods as well. And where we really separate ourselves from the competition is right here. Every OmniFlex plan has the option to jump over to first day cash benefits. The other parts are indemnity, not reimbursement, but the first day cash gives you a huge advantage because there's a lot of people who are married and they want their spouse's help, they want family, friends, church groups, whatever the case may be. OmniFlex has it with the first day cash benefits. And finally, we know this is a long-held product, so we wanted to make sure we had inflation protection growth as an option with this plan as well. And with this plan, it not only grows the facility, but it also grows the home care and the cash benefit, as I'll show you in a few minutes. So on the right-hand side, you can see there were some of the other products out in the industry, and there was a lot of red nose over there. And that was on purpose because that's why we, like I said, it took us so long to put this plan together. We loved working with the people at Manhattan Life. It's underwritten by the subsidiary of theirs, the sister company, Standard Life. And the reason we're so excited for this plan is because it does all the things you want a short-term care plan to do. We wanted something different, and boy, working with that team was a dream because they listened to what we had to say. We talked about different things that I'll show you in a few minutes, and they really understood that this is something that could do great things for the industry. In a nutshell, OmniFlex, in my mind, and what we've seen from our pre-launch, because our career team has done a bang-up job of going out there, and we're seeing people are turning to this product first for a lot of reasons. And that's what we're excited about. It's not just a short-term care plan like any other. It's a short-term care plan that does a lot of things that the other plans out there don't do. And I'm going to show you really quick just a handout on the right we can have access to. And I'm going to zip over to that really quick just to show you. The key with short-term care plans, and we have whole trainings I'll tell you about in a second on the difference between long-term care and short-term care, etc. Today I'm just going an overview, so I can't get in too deep on any of those things. And if anybody knows me, you know that's my biggest problem is I'm so excited about this. I want to tell you everything today. But I'm going to try my best just to keep this a little more succinct. What you'll see with short-term care products out there is there are a lot of similarities, right? And we've got some great products. We're huge writers with some of the great products out there that are in the industry right now. But if you look at short-term care insurance, here's OmniFlex in the left column and product A and product B. Some of you on this call know exactly which companies they are as I go through this. But here's a quick little side-by-side, and I'm not going to beat it to death. You'll get this as a handout. But basically, they obviously pay facility and home health care benefits. These are comprehensive short-term care plans. They provide full benefit periods for home health aides. And all these products pay over and above whatever other insurance you have. They're indemnity-type plans, so they're strong. And they offer a first-day elimination, if you want to, for immediate access to benefits. That's real common with short-term care plans, unlike some of you might be used to with long-term care, 90-day eliminations. And they all include built-in restoration of benefits. The reason I bring this up, and I'm going to spend a couple extra seconds on it, is a couple-fold. First of all, you can see OmniFlex, it has a little footnote, and it basically says this is restoration of benefits that for the facility and for the home health care, and it's up to 2 times whatever your benefit period is. And as I go through the benefit design in a minute here, it'll make more sense for some of you. But I just basically showed you that and product A have identical types of restoration. Product B has restoration on the facility, but not the home care, but it's still good to have some type of restoration. And the reason why, and we have to take off our long-term care hats, if some of you have been in the long-term care trenches for a long time and you're just embracing short-term care, remember to educate your clients on the power of restoration. We're going to have a whole webinar on this. It'll be relatively short, but talking about the power of restoration, because remember, short-term care plans don't have the ADL trigger that says you need to have help for 90 days at least, right? That's long-term care. Short-term care says you need to have help with 2 of 6 ADLs, but these activities of daily living, you don't need to have 90 days certification. So remember what that is? That's like the old days of long-term care that says, you know, if it's medically necessary and you need to have help with 2 of 6, even if it's for a pretty short period of time. Short-term care plans, there's two big misconceptions out there, and I got to spend a minute on this or I wouldn't be doing my job. The first one is that short-term care is just kind of like long-term care, but it doesn't cover you for very long, and they're wimpy policies. Number one, I want to make sure you realize short-term care plans are super robust. I mean, I have very educated adults when I start talking about short-term care, they say, oh, those just pay for 90 days? Do they only pay for 90 days or half a year? They don't realize the power of the true short-term care plans the way they are now. They have a base section and a home health care section that theoretically could lap on top of each other and pay for an extended amount of time. So it's not even limited just to 1 year on a claim. Sometimes you'll go above that because you'll have to move into a facility, et cetera. But just real quickly, and again, I'm probably overstepping my bounds on this type of call, but don't forget how robust these plans can be. Don't forget to tell your clients, because your clients will think, short-term care, it sounds like it's just a little measly thing. Short-term care is powerful for the fact you can build literally, I can show you how to build. We have inflation in these plans. You can put $400 facility, which would be $800 after inflation, $300 home care, which is $600 a day. So we're talking literally $24,000 a month potentially, or $18,000 a month plans. And the pots of money for the potential 360-day plans are huge. You know, $288,000 for a facility only, with another $216 on top of that. And when you pull in restoration, the reason I'm talking about this now, when you pull in restoration, that's huge. Because some of the old long-term care plans had restoration, and once in a while they restore. But with these plans, remember, I'm jumping in for a hip replacement. I'm jumping in for a fall. I'm jumping in for different types of conditions you never would approach long-term care with, because you wouldn't hit the 90-day certification, where with this one, it's going to be real common for your clients to use up some of the days in their plan at home or in the facility maybe even, and then feel better for 6 months and not need any help. And that policy will restore multiple times, up to 2 times the benefit you sold them. So you can get a really big bang, literally over $1 million potential policies with these short-term care plans because of that restoration. So again, very powerful, something I want to make sure my long-term care friends are not forgetting to tell their clients. Okay, so much for not getting in deep, right? My team's going to shake their head at me. Look at the spousal discounts. Again, OmniFlex has a 10% married discount if both people buy a policy. They don't have to be identical benefits, so it's a really strong 10%. And you can see here, one of the companies has it, one doesn't. And hospital indemnity benefits, really nice for all those MA plans out there. It is a rider, so it's not built in. You don't have to have it. But you can see here that one of the policies doesn't have that. OmniFlex does. Inflation rider, this is a big one. Tell you what, we want these plans. Some people sell them. You can build up the plan so big the way it is, you can get by without inflation for some of the older folks. But for younger folks, tell you what, inflation's a great, great opportunity with OmniFlex, because it does grow the facility, grows the home care, and it grows the cash benefits as well. And again, when we get into benefit design, you'll see that. And with this one over here, we have one of the companies that'll do the facility, but they won't increase on the home care. And one of them doesn't have any inflation at all at this point. Okay. First day cash benefits. Tell you what, we're proud of the fact, and most of you on this call know that cash works. Cash is flexible. We helped design the Mutual of Omaha plan here at GoldenCare, and took their long-term care from number 10 to number 1. And part of it, or a lot of it, was because of this first day cash benefit option that we had in that long-term care plan. And we know people use cash. When we started that, it was a 40% cash benefit, and 70% of the people who went on claims started with cash for Mutual, for long-term care this is. And 70% started, and just about 70% stayed with it. So we know the power of cash. People don't want strangers in their house a lot of time, even though they qualify for claim. They love the opportunity to have cash. With our OmniFlex Fast 50, I'll show you more details about. People love that, and they have the ability to get that cash benefit. Okay, the other policies obviously don't have that. It's where we really turn heads in this industry with OmniFlex. And we did include hospice for both facility and home care, where the other plans didn't have that. And remember, these are indemnity benefits that pay regardless of any other coverage. And then we provide a built-in prescription drug. I love the fact that we could get this in. I love the fact Manhattan's working with us on it. this is a great, great opportunity for you. $300 per year that you can have for prescription drugs for refills or prescriptions. You don't have to hit the claim triggers. You start from day one with that. And remember that stat that's so important, you guys. When people can't qualify for long-term care especially, there's a lot of them with shoe boxes full of meds. That's the power of OmniFlex, is that you can say 65-year-olds on average have 27.3 new prescriptions or refills per year. Now you can look at it and say, hey, we can give you $10 for brand name, $25 per generic, and you can get up to $300 per year. Everybody won't use the whole 300, but a lot of people will. And look at this, without the prescription drug reimbursement, without it, again, OmniFlex for this example, what do we got down here? I got to look real quick. 61-year-old in Iowa, just to use this example, it's on the sheet, 91 or $92 a month, 113 over here, and 115. So you're going to see in a few minutes that we have a lot more bang for our buck, but I wanted to give you this broad overview again, just to show you this is why OmniFlex is going to turn heads, and it's why we're going to have so much success in this industry. Okay. That being said, I'm going to go back, and so my staff doesn't get mad at me, I'm going to go on here and show you that, again, I know a lot of you on this call, some of you are scratching your head already saying, boy, this guy talks fast and is going through a lot in a short period of time. I appreciate that and I understand it, and I'm sorry, but I do tell you this, we know that there are a lot of agents with different comfort levels and different knowledge levels when it comes to short-term care. So we will have live training and we will have recorded training that cover a huge, huge amount of different topics. Basics like the difference between long-term care and short-term care 101. A lot of people don't even realize that there's a lot of agents who are doing Medicare all the time and they're not even familiar anymore with what long-term care is, and they didn't know short-term care plans aren't little 90-day plans. They're very robust. OmniFlex plan design, another one that we'll talk about in detail. How to use the InstaPivot tool. I'll show you what that is in a second. How to use the Manhattan site in their Agent Resource Center. We'll have recorded and live trainings on the power of, these are shorts, they'll probably be recorded. Two-tiered underwriting, the power of the cash, power of restoration, power of inflation, and more. We'll hit little bites on this, and my team's going to be excited to know some of these aren't even created yet, but we're going to do them quick and get them out there for you. And we're going to have full-blown establishing the need and sales help for you. So remember, this number one isn't as hard as you think it is to be successful in the short-term care arena, but more importantly, we have tools to make your life easier in the trenches. We're going to have the full long-term care, short-term care pivot presentation that's available for you that you're going to love. That was a pleasure to help design that sucker because it can walk you through and push you towards long-term care potentially, but if you need to pivot at any time, you'll be able to pivot into OmniFlex or one of the other short-term care products as necessary, okay? OmniFlex for Medicare agents. This is for people who just don't do a lot of short-term care. We're going to show you how with a couple questions you can open the door on every conversation and make sure people get coverage for short-term care. We have OmniFlex for call center teams. Dennis Reiner and our team has been invaluable in this, working with different call centers and coming up with scripts and coming up with ideas and ways to share screen or not share screen and be successful with OmniFlex. So we're going to have that available for you. Plus, how to use the InstaPivot again at sale time, and I'll show you more on the InstaPivot in a minute. Finally, with simple, completing the OmniFlex e-app. You're going to find out just how great that is in a few minutes. I'll probably tease you with that if I don't run way out of time too soon. And finally, OmniFlex versus traditional long-term care and a competitive advantage side. Jeff went over some of this, did a great job showing this thing is really powerful versus other short-term care plans out there, versus other home health care only plans out there, and even against traditional long-term care plans. When you got an uphill battle to get somebody insured, it's great to have the opportunity to turn to a product like OmniFlex and cover people that couldn't get coverage before, okay? Plus, you're going to have access to our entire OmniFlex asset site. And again, I know that we got a lot of things going on here, but I want to make sure you see, you're going to have the ability when you join GoldenCare's team here as an agent or through an agency. We have some of these custom designed even for big agencies, but here it'll show you the state availability. It's always updated. And then here's a little recording. That 3-minute one I did earlier is on here. Plus, this is a detailed recording talking about how to fill out an e-app and how to maneuver through that Manhattan 2.0 site that we may have a chance to look at today, we may not, but I'll get back to this. And everything else you may ever need, okay? And I'm not going to go through and list these because of time today, but I wanted to show you that everything you might need on here, including that comparison sheet will be on here, the frequently asked questions, which I definitely want you to take a look at, pre-screen forms, RX reimbursement form, medication list, all the different things you might need to be successful for the OmniFlex product. And we even put on the home health care plan down here as well for Manhattan, because it's a nice turn away. If you can't get somebody underwriting through OmniFlex, you have the ability to use the Manhattan home care if you'd like. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to pivot over, and again, we're going through lots of fun stuff, but all starts with underwriting. That's what I was saying earlier, and I wanted to make sure you understood the power of this two-tiered underwriting is one of the most important parts of OmniFlex. And again, I'm going to do this quickly today, but we'll have a different webinar on it. But you know, there's some home health care only plans out there that are great, and we sell a ton of them. There's a lot of less risk to the carrier because they don't cover like home health care aids and stuff for the full benefit periods. So those are great plans because they're so wide sweeping on the underwriting side. But on the flip side, you have some of the larger full comprehensive plans out there like Aetna's Recovery Care and Recover Cash from GTL that are fantastic plans. We sell a lot of them on our career side and with our brokerage. They're great plans and they're very comprehensive. They have more underwriting knockout questions, obviously, than the home health care only plans because they offer larger comprehensive benefits, right? And there's more risk to the carrier. But with OmniFlex, we really wanted the best of both worlds. So we have two-tiered underwriting. Tier 1, which would be our limited benefit plan, and it's similar to the underwriting of the home health care only plans, not quite as lenient, but it is similar, so it's much closer to that than it is for the full short-term care plans. But with this one, you get facility and home care. We had to protect Manhattan's interest, obviously, and we limited to $100 daily maximum benefit for all the facility, home care, and for the hospital indemnity. So you $100 max. And we couldn't put inflation on that one because we wanted to make sure we kept the pricing stable with the limited benefit plan. But the good news is, again, you can offer a facility benefit to people who couldn't get it before because OmniFlex has that 2 tiers. The second tier is the one we're selling most of our policies at. You're going to see there's a lot less knockouts than other short-term care plans in the industry. And because of the way we designed this plan, you can have full benefits up to $400 per day facility, $300 per day home care, and you can have inflation added onto that plan as well. Plus, every OmniFlex plan has first day built-in cash like we talked about, and the hospital indemnity rider, et cetera. Okay, plus the prescription drug reimbursement. Excuse me. Basically, we're trying to offer the best of all worlds with that. And this InstaPivot tool, I'm just going to show you really quickly. And again, we're not going to have time to go into a lot of this very deeply, but I do want to let you know that it's there. The InstaPivot tool, we have a lot of our agencies that we've talked to about this that are more excited about this tool than they are about the product itself, probably. But I want you to know it's available. It's on that asset page we showed you earlier. But what InstaPivot does is we kind of designed this as an internal tool, and we wanted to have the ability quickly to see which policy is where. And we'll have full training on this. We already have full training available recorded-wise. We'll have webinars on this. Manny's done a great job with webinars going through. Manny on our team here going through showing you the method or madness with this tool. So I can't spend much time with it today, but I'll tell you this. All of our peripheral plans that we sell the most of are up here. It's not totally exhaustive, but most of our plans are up here, all the way from True Freedom, which covers basically everybody besides if you have ADL problems, all the way over to the GTL short-term care plan and the Aetna short-term care plan. And what this does is you can go in there, and again, I'm not going to go into training on it today, but you can click in any state. Like if I'm talking to somebody from Alabama, it'll show you green if that plan's available in Alabama. So if I was in a different state, some of them wouldn't turn green, for example. Then I can go to all the medications. We've got literally over 1,000 different medications on there. All the Aetna medications are in there. And this is a living, breathing tool that gets better and better because we keep updating it. So you can click in a medication and immediately see which companies will cover them and which won't. And on the left-hand side down here, all these rows of that you'll see, those 45 rows represent every single question on every single one of these applications and underwriting guides. So in a nutshell, what you can do is you can scroll down here and see what's covered and what isn't, or you can go over here to the keywords and type in something. Let's just put COPD for today and type in one of the conditions. And if you click the box, now it's going to think about it because we're on a webinar, everything gets slower. And it might be so slow on a webinar. Every once in a while when you're using live online tools, it really slows down on a webinar. This is really quick and seamless if you're using it otherwise. So I'm not going to apologize too much, but I might. If I clicked on COPD and it didn't lock up on me because we're on a webinar and slow down because of bandwidth, you would see that it would immediately show you which companies offer that product and which ones don't. Okay. Lost a couple points there. Sorry about that, guys. But that's available right here on the InstaPivot. And again, it's a really nicely designed tool. Our IT team did a great job working with Manny and our team. And that thing is going to be really nice for you to immediately be able to pivot and help people as you go through. This is just a summary to show you. And again, when we get into the full training on InstaPivot, you'll see that OmniFlex, remember I told you GTL short-term home care plan and True Freedom, they cover almost every different type of condition. Manhattan's home care is 44 of those 45 rows are yeses. That's the home health care only plans. That's our tier 1 is close to those 33 yeses. Okay. Our tier 2 full-blown benefit plan has 20 yeses of all those questions that are asked on every app, where you see with that and GTL, there's 10 or 8. So we have a much wider base with OmniFlex. That's one of the reasons, again, we worked so hard with this plan to make sure that we could offer it to as many people as possible. And it's night and day over long-term care, because the long-term care is basically knows for all those questions just about. Okay. All right. So I'm zooming right along here. We're getting close, but I do want you to know that on your handout, you're going to see the state availability. We've got 28 states approved right now. We have other ones filed. I'm not going to blow smoke at you. There are states like California, Minnesota, Washington, etc. Massachusetts is tough in a lot of cases, that we're probably not going to have this plan, or we're almost assuredly not, but we're working on it. We even have agents working at the lobbyist level in some cases to try to get states to start embracing these. But it is available there, and on your InstaPivot tool, you can see what states are available for all the different plans. As we get approval and you get appointed, we're going to show you what is available for all those plans as well. Okay. Now again, this is going to be more of a handout for you. I want to show you, here's all the base benefits. And again, we'll have a special recording on this. It just goes through these base benefits. But we have $50 to $400 for facility care. If you have a limited plan, it is $100, remember? And then we go through and show you all these different benefits, talking about the power of restoration, power of prescription drug, power of Fast 50 for family members. All that's available in this plan. Again, Fast 50, I have to spend a minute on because it's so important. If you're not in this field already, you may not understand the power of cash benefit. Right now, these top 2 bullets are talking about unpaid caregivers in America. We all know home health aides and all that stuff are tough to come by in a lot of areas, and it's become worse and worse with COVID. So there are a limited amount of home health aides available for people. So unpaid caregivers are huge. It's a huge problem in America, and it's something that a lot of people just don't have the ability to have anybody come in from an agency. So that's where cash comes in handy at claim time. And even down here on the paid caregivers, if you start paying for caregiving, home health aides by far the #1 people pay for. So you want to have full benefits for that, like a comprehensive short-term care plan has and OmniFlex has. And the CNAs, certified nursing assistants, basically can distribute meds. So they're a step above home health aid as far as what they can do. But again, it's very popular, and a lot of plans won't cover CNAs if you don't have a comprehensive plan. And finally, the one I really wanted to show you is right here. Even on paid caregivers, #3 on the list is family, friends, and independent people that they're paying for. So you can see people don't want strangers in their house, even at claim time a lot of times, so that Fast 50 cash is huge. Hospital indemnity benefits is a huge opportunity for a rider. If somebody has an MA plan, you can throw it right on with this plan. There's a lot of out-of-pocket expenses with the MA plans, as you know, and with regular hospital stays, this can help pay for some of that. And finally, we have that simple inflation. And I'm going to finish up today just by showing you what some of you are talking about right now to yourselves. If this is the first time you've seen OmniFlex, a lot of agents ask, how can you throw the net that wide on the underwriting and offer such a strong benefit pack plan? And the way we did this, and this is one of the reasons it took a while to get through, is that we wanted to make sure we could design a plan that did it all, that did all those things we wanted to do. So we used our years of experience here at GoldenCare to help the carriers understand that we can do some things to limit that adverse selection that can hit so many times with some of these policies. If you ask anybody who's real familiar with the GTL home care plan or any of those home health care only plans, that the underwriting net is extremely wide, and that is such a great thing. The reason they have to limit some of those benefits for home health aides, et cetera, is that they know people buy these policies, they wait too long, they don't think about it, they buy it at the last minute, and then they jump on claim right away in one of the first year, 1 or 2 or 3, right? So what we did with OmniFlex is we purposely designed it. It's really nothing that we try to hide. It's something that we try to show people. That's the power of what this plan does. With the cash benefit and with this ramp up that we have, this is the reason this plan works so well at claim time. Okay, so first of all, if I sell you a plan today, and if it's a limited plan, remember it's $100 per day max for all the different types of coverage. And if it's tier 2, which most of our plans are, I can do $400 per day facility or $300 per day for the home care, right? Then what we do is we start out at 50% the first day you buy that policy and it's effective. Then it goes up in equal increments for the first 5 years. Okay, and again, this is not something we're ashamed of or we're hiding. This is something that is the method, it's our secret sauce, if you will. It's the reason this plan works so well at claim time. We don't want people who are going to go on claim in the first year, second year, or third year. We'd rather say, sure, go buy something else if you think you're going to really go on claim the first year. I will show you in a couple of minutes that this plan is still super powerful, even if you go on claim in the first year or third year, but it's really powerful when you get into the third and fifth year, okay? So let's take a look at this real quick. Again, this looks complicated. It isn't. I sell you today a $400 per day facility. It starts at $200 and works up in equal increments till the 5th policy anniversary. Then it levels off if you're tier 1 and you don't have inflation on there. Remember, you can't have inflation with tier 1. The key to remember is right here. 33 of those 45 rows pass at least tier 1. So we have a lot of people who wouldn't be able to get those other comprehensive short-term care plans anyway, right? So if tier 1 isn't passed or tier 2 is passed and they don't want inflation, that's where it levels off, right, with what you sold them at claim time or at issue time, excuse me. Okay, where we're seeing most of our people is right here, tier 2, and a lot of people choose the inflation. And you can see there now in the 6th year it starts growing. Simple inflation. We protected the carrier again, so there's no runaway inflation. We have 5% simple 2 times max. And again, with this one, it means the max benefit is 200% of what you sold them. And again, that's $800 per day potentially. So that's $24,000 a month for facility, or it's $300 home care, and that's $18,000 per month potentially as it grows with the inflation. So very, very powerful. But the big thing to remember is 20 of those 45 rows can accomplish this, where with the other full short-term care plans, as you get in the InstaPivot, you'll see those are at 10 or 8. Okay. So in a nutshell, again, don't hide this from your clients. Tell them the truth and say, the key is with this plan, we want to plan ahead. We want to get you so you're not going to go on claim in the first couple of years. If you do, we still have a solid 50% benefit, but we'd rather have you wait until the 3rd, 4th, or 5th year or beyond before you actually go on claim. And obviously most people will be beyond that, right? So the 5-year ramp up not only protects the carrier from adverse selection, but it allows us to give a ton more benefits at claim time. And what I'm going to finish up here, and I apologize, I went a couple minutes over the 30 minutes, but it's worth the stay to see this slide. Because the key is that you tell your clients with OmniFlex, and the reason that we're going to break records with this plan, I think, is right here. It's about the benefits at claim time. If I were to look at the number one, great product in the industry, Aetna Recovery Care, everybody knows that was kind of the granddaddy. It's been out there. It's been solid. It's great policy. We sell tons of it. I'm not bashing Aetna. We love Aetna. We write a lot of it. There's a lot of states that OmniFlex isn't even available that Aetna is. So we still sell a lot of it. I'm not bashing Aetna. I'm just showing you the numbers, right? So that being said, for a 61-year-old, for example, if I were to sell pretty close to apples, $200 per day, full year benefit, 20-day limb on the facility, put the home health care riders in there at the full amount, $300 per day, 360 days, zero elimination. Right now, Aetna has $1,200 per week as their max. They might go to $1,500. The numbers, the green looks about the same below if they do move that up. But either way, $1,200 per week for 52 weeks. And then if you look at this, I did cheat and put a spousal rate on here. That's a 10% discount for OmniFlex. And for Aetna, they don't offer a spousal rate, so that might have been a little low blow. But even without the spousal discount, you can see some great savings, right? With the spousal discount, if you don't put anything to do with prescription drug, if for some reason somebody doesn't have any prescriptions and they go out there, it's $1,031 to $1,357 for Aetna. So you're saving 24% premium without the rebate, okay? If I didn't have the spousal discount on there, it's still 15.6% cheaper. 46.1% cheaper if I get the $300, the full reimbursement from the meds. Some people won't use the full $300, but a lot of people will. Okay, so remember to include that in your discussion with your client. In this case, they're paying $731 net premium if they took the full $300. That's 46.1% less premium than Aetna. That's scary, isn't it? Even without the spousal discount, 37.7%. So still solid savings. Okay, this is year one at issue age. Okay, a 61-year-old at issue age. If they went on claim right away, this is where the green shows that it's better for Aetna, and that makes sense, right? If I was looking at my mom or a loved one or somebody I was selling to, I'd say, you know what? If you think you're going to go on claim in the first year or two, Aetna is definitely a better plan, right? Because we sold you $200 per day, but the first year it pays 50%, so we're at a $100 facility. We sold you $300 per day for this example, and it's 50%, that's 150. Your pool of money is a little bit bigger with Aetna, et cetera, first day. I would definitely sell you Aetna. But again, what's important? Benefits at claim time. Now look at even the third year. We haven't even fully matured. Now I look at it and say, look at this. Our facility's still lagging behind because we haven't fully matured yet. We're at 160, Aetna's 200. So if after 3 years, so this is, you paid 4 premiums, so you paid a total of $4,123 and a total of $5,430. So you still have the same percentages of savings. You've saved $1,200 on prescription drug potentially. But now you start seeing the green shift, right? Average for 1,200 a week is $171 a day for home care. You get $240 and the pool of money's bigger, $86.4. So even in the third year, we have some great things going on with OmniFlex, including friends and family, $120 per day, $43,000 pool, the Fast 50 benefit. Nothing like that's offered from the competition. When you get into the fifth year, tell you what, to me, this becomes a no-brainer, right? Now you're looking at it saying, I've saved up to 46% premium in this example, and I've got a 73% bigger home health care pool, bigger daily benefits, and my facility grew up. So my facility plan by age 66 on that anniversary hits $200, which is the same as what Aetna had. So again, a complicated slide, but you'll have it. And we can do this for any example you want, by the way. I built a tool with my team that we can put together any example. If you ever wanted to see side-by-sides, you can do that, okay? So that being said, I just wanted to make sure you saw the power of this. This works the same, by the way, with any age. It works the same with any product. So I will tell you, make sure you go back and go to that asset page and watch that video about the e-app. All you need is mother's maiden names for signatures. Very, very, very intuitive and simple to use. I don't have time today to go through that because I already held you guys past, but I will tell you, that's a real powerful, and we have an instant quote. We can go on there and click instant quote and not go through the underwriting questions and see what a plan would cost you. All I'm showing you this slide, this is all repeat. The next step is up to you. Your clients are going to thank you if you embrace OmniFlex and you find out how it can work for you, because I promise you this, I got the best team under the sun here at GoldenCare. We've got some great people our whole marketing team is excited about this, and they're real familiar with how OmniFlex works, and they can help you guys see just how easy this plan is and how it's so simple to use and so simple to help your clients. And with the InstaPivot tool, we make it about as easy as possible. So I won't have a long ending here because I kept you late, and hopefully you'll accept my apologies for that. I wish we would have had this set for 45 minutes even on this quick intro. There's so many different things we want to tell you about this plan and different ways it can outperform some of the different plans that you might have access to. We really want you to see that this is a valuable part of your portfolio, and it can be a great opportunity for you to help more Americans. So that being said, I want to thank you very, very much for taking your valuable time today to sit here and let me yap at you. And I want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, I'm here to help. So if you guys have questions, reach out and let my team or myself help you help other Americans with this plan. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
OmniFlex. Put it in your portfolio today. Call GoldenCare at 800-842-7799.